Hello, and welcome to the stream tonight. So, for anyone that's been following along, last few streams, we have been working on GitReleaseManager. So, the main scope of work for updating GitReleaseManager is to make it work for a thing other than just GitHub. Now, the thing is because we haven't decided what we're going to call it. Is it a repository provider? Is it a version control system? I mean, but the bottom line is GitReleaseManager is inherently coupled to GitHub at the minute. And I want to try and break it apart and make it work on systems other than just GitHub. The main one being GitLab. So on Friday, we started hacking around trying to start that process. And I'm hoping to continue that tonight. But just before going live on the stream, I've been trying to update some stuff. And it doesn't really want to work. So I'm not entirely clear on what's going on. What I started doing was I started adding AutoMapper into the mix. So the reason that we want AutoMapper is basically for ease of use. So use AutoMapper to map between the thing that we call an issue within GitHub Release Manager or Git Release Manager and what GitHub calls an issue and what GitLab calls an issue. So provide that mapping between the two. And I started doing that and things broke. So I'm not entirely clear on what broke. But what I'm thinking is I will go back to the clean develop branch and update the dependencies that we have in the hope that that will make things work. So I'm going to reset where I am just now because I hadn't done that much and I want to do a git checkout to the develop branch. And I want to look at updating some of the dependencies that we have here. So let's close all but this one. And let's do a clean of the solution and a rebuild to make sure that everything's working. Right. Let's rebuild. And if that works, I am going to update some of these dependencies, hopefully. So that should give us no errors because, well, there are no errors. But maybe let's just let Visual Studio catch up with me. And let's close and open it again. Okay. See where this gets us. Okay. Rebuild this again. And we should have no error because we're back to a clean point. He says. Dun, dun, dun. Restore complete, rebuild complete. Okay, so let's look at updating some of the dependencies that we currently have. For example, OctoKit has a new version, so let's install that. So we're going from 32 to 36. And I'm hoping that that's just going to, all of these are going to fix itself. Maybes? Maybes? Okay. So if we rebuild that. That's thinking. There we go. And we look at what's changed in that operation. What I'm expecting is just 32 to 36 across the board of the project. So 32 to 36. Yada, yada, yada. Beautiful. Okay. So that part worked. So let's look at doing the same with command line parser. And let's see if that works. Restore completed. So why are we suddenly getting errors for that one? Let's do another clean. Clean failed, it said. Okay. Rebuild. If all else fails. Interesting. Okay, so we'll come to that. Let's just see what it's done. And we'll do a refresh here. So it's gone from there to there, there to there, there to there. Okay, good so far. There is no argument that corresponds to the required format. Oh. This is because in updating to the latest OctoKit, we have changed the label. There's no argument corresponding to the required formal parameter default of label long string string. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So something changed. Interesting. What was this trying to do? And there is no argument given that corresponds to the required formal parameter updated at. Interesting. So the creation of a milestone has changed as well. Interesting. So for this one, date time offset. No, no, no. What were we passing in here? We were passing in string, string, along. Interesting. That's a little bit annoying. What were we attempting to do here? Var temp equals new milestone. Let's see what it's doing. There's only 2 overloads, so oh no, there's 3 overloads. So string URL, HTML URL, updated at. So we had 1, 2, 4. There's no argument given that corresponds to ID number. This wasn't necessarily what I was expecting to be in with tight. But I think we need to do this to get to a point where everything is lined up. So let's just see if we can't figure this out. So let's look again at that overload. So we had an HTML URL. Are we missing a? What are we missing? Item state 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just missing something. We're missing an ID, a number. Is it going to be as simple as this? I think it's that for that one. Come back to that. We'll need to run some tests. But let's go to this one. And a label. What does a label have? Var temp equals new label has a ID, a string, a name, a node ID. I think it's this node ID. Hello, Adil. How's it going? How is it going, sir? I am currently trying to figure out what I've broken. You're sleepy. What time is it with you just now? You're, what, 6 hours ahead of me? Do you like my hat? Thanks. Still a bit cold in my garage. Still a bit cold. Now, I'm just going to throw another null in here and see what that does. I didn't like that, you see. Didn't like an extra null. You should be tired, sir. You should be. I have broken something, and I'm trying to figure out what I've done. String. The ID, let's stick a 0 in here then. Hold on. 0. Okay. That made it not scream. Let's. Yeah, I was trying to. I got there in the end, Kim, I think. So between the two versions of OctoKit that we're using, the constructors have broken. And that was nice of them, effectively, is what I'm trying to say. But what I want to try and do now is run the tests to make sure that I haven't broken anything. And if that is the case, then we can move on to the next dependency. So let's see if these tests run. So basically I'm doing a bit of yak shaving. So effectively, I want to update to the latest versions of these things. And now why does that not run? How do I get my unit tests to run for the other target framework? How do I force it to do that? Oh, it did. Look at that. Okay, cool. Okay, so my tests all work. So that means that everything is fixed, right? So on to the next one. So the next update will break something that Kim worked on. So when we install the latest version of YAML.NET, Kim left a note regarding something can be removed once that happens. So when we do that, I think we're going to get an error about something being obsoleted, which, like I say, is expected, yes. So if we rebuild this again, then I think what we're going to have is something that we can remove. Rebuild all failed. Beautiful. So in here, we need to do something. It was this. Can be removed once. Can be removed when YAML.net is updated to 8+. So I'm going to do that. Is hyphenation naming convention is obsolete. Use the instance static field instead of creating new instances. That sounds like exactly what I want to do. Hyphenation naming convention? Dot instance? Look at that. Genius. Okay. Let's have a wee rebuild there. Thank you for that, Kim. I think I got there just around the same time as you typed that, so thank you. Oh, we've got another one. Oh, I see it. I see it. 1, 2, 3. Dot instance. Okay. And let's rebuild that again for the sake of my sanity. Okay. So what else can we update here? Let's just update everything while we're here. I want to get to a place where we're up to the latest and greatest. Jesus. There's a lot of related values there. Well, let's keep going. Okay. And I see no reason not to update to NUnit as well. Right. And sure. Then Unit 3 test adapter is what allows it to run those unit tests and for them to be identified within Visual Studio. So it makes sense to have that up to date as well. And then this one. Sure. Sure. Accept. Okay. So let's just do a sanity check of the build. And if that works, I'm going to do a full build at the command line to make sure that we haven't broken anything from a cake build perspective. And then I want to try adding a new package, and that's where it actually failed previously. So let's just run a build here. And it failed when I tried to add, or it started failing when I tried to add the automapper package. Now the reason that we want the automapper package is because we want to provide that mapping between a GitHub issue and what we refer to as an issue. Now when I, oh look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh no, that's not the one I thought it was. I was getting excited there about something that Kim had added, but it's not actually there. I can do that next time. No, I looked at that tab earlier and I wasn't 100% sure about what to do with it. So maybe let's have a chat about that once this completes. Because the consolidate was telling me that the .NET Global tool version of GitReleaseManager was on 2.1, but the .NET, the project was on .NET 2. And I wasn't sure what should happen. But let me bring it up so we can have a chat about that. Once this build finishes. Why is it taking so long? The build worked, didn't it? Oh, there it goes. It's off and running. It's off to the races. Building. Analyzing. There we go. That's the warning message that you noted about on your last PR, Kim. I've seen that one before, and I've never found a solution for it either. Okay. .NET Core Pack to generate the NuGet packages. Okay, fine. So yeah, the Consolidate tab was telling me that there was a discrepancy between the version that's installed for GitReleaseManager.tool and the version that's installed for the other two. Now, we specifically build the tool for 2.1. So if we go and have a look here, then this is targeting .NET Core App 2.1 and 3.0. But if we look at this one here, then it's building for .NET Core App 2. So my question to you is that right? Or should we be building for 2.1 across the board? You're saying nothing. Okay, fine, good. Glad we're on the same page there then. So, what I wanted to do was on my here. So I want to add AutoMapper into the mix here. So I'm going to say manage NuGet packages. And I'm going to browse to AutoMapper. And I'm going to say install. And I think what it's going to tell me is that you can't. Or is it going to work? Store completed. And if we look at this, no, sorry, edit project file, this, then, see, this is the problem, I think. Or is part of the problem, anyway. Because if I go and have a look over here, AutoMapper is AutoMapper in its latest version, which is 9, only supports Net 461 and Net Standard 2. So the issue there is that this one is still targeting 461. So I think I might have to bump this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to make this the same. And I'm going to put this in here. And I'm going to put this in there. I'm going to get rid of this item group. And I'm going to put this into here. And I think that will work. In solution. And then let's rebuild it again. See if that works. I mean, I don't think I'm tied to 451. Once upon a time I might have been, but I think there's enough. Unless you can tell me a good reason to, I'm going to say that we can bump it. So, in the time it takes me to add AutoMapper into here, let me know what you come up with. Let me know if you come up with anything, because I don't think there's a good reason. So I'm going to put this in here, and I suspect that we're going to need AutoMapper in here too. And let's see if that all builds. Don't have one. Beautiful. Okay, in which case we are bumping to... No, so that's on the core project. The core project must have the same... It does. So let's bump that then. Let's just wait and see if that figures things out. Hopefully. Maybe. Restore completed. Okay. Rebuild. Okay. That went better than when I did it on the other branch. So let's have a look and see what has changed here. So we have don't need the reference in all the projects. Only the core project needs the AutoMapper reference. The rest gets them automatically. Hold on then. So what you're telling me is I can remove it from the CLI in the tool one, and that will automatically flow through because we've referenced it from the core project? Or have I got that round the wrong way? Interesting. Okay. I am happy to do that. So here's the core one. Tool one, let's come out of there then. And the CLI one, I'll bring it out of there. Okay, let's do it that way. And I'm going to say, I'm just going to commit those changes, and then I'm going to rebase my current feature branch off of this one so that it pulls it in. So I'm going to do this essentially as a build commit, and we'll just call it updating project references, updating NuGet references. So that was just a bump. Those were bumps. All those were bumps. We fix those. We fix those. And we fix those. So let's go ahead and let's do a maintenance commit, update all NuGet package versions. Updated to the latest version of dependencies, fixing issues that came up with the change. Also bumped from 451 .NET 451 to .NET 461, and finally added AutoMapper package. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and commit that because I want those changes in. And because, well, I can, right? So if I do a git push upstream of that, And then let's do a git push origin. Oh dear. Git fetch upstream. Git rebase upstream develop. What had I missed? Oh, I know what it was. I made a documentation change the other day. Yeah, that's fine. Git push upstream. And then git push origin. Okay. So then git branch, what's the name? Git switch to feature GH145, and then do a git rebase on develop. Oh, I thought there might have been some merge conflicts there, but looks like there isn't. Okay. So the reason that I did all of that work is because I want to add AutoMapper into the mix. Let's go ahead and close all of these documents. And the thing that hold on. Why is that? No, we're not at that point yet. If I go over here on core and into my release notes exporter, this is where I need to start. Right. So this thing is not going to be a GitHub client anymore. This is going to be, we'll keep the naming convention just now, which is a VCS client. And then this is going to be a VCS client. And then this is not going to be an GitHub client anymore. It's going to be one of these guys. And one of these guys will then make stuff start breaking, right? Because it's trying to pass in, oh no, that's the other thing we need to do. We need to remove this guy from here, because we don't have OctoKit anymore. We just have the model classes. And then cannot convert, and this is where we start to need the mapper, because this append release notes here has a release, but it's a what we're passing in is not. Why does that not? Hold on. Okay, no, that will fix that one. Okay. Right, good. I think. Let's rebuild and see where we're at now. There we go. Lots of lovely errors. Right. And where do we start? Over here is the same thing. So this is not going to be a GitHub client anymore. This is going to be a VCS client, the thing that we created in the last stream. This here is going to be a VCS client. And then this is going to be an VCS client. There and there. And then this wants to remove Octobox as well, because we don't want this thing to be coupled directly to GitHub. But then lots of stuff is broken. This can be fixed by doing this. And then this one is where we need to start fixing stuff. He says. Okay, so let's go back over here and look for new default GitHub client, this one. So here, why is this working? Why is this working? The reason I'm asking this is because this wasn't working when I was playing with this. Oh no, it is here. It's this one. Right. So this is where we need the mapper. So this getIssues method now is our issue. It's our list of our issues. But this getAllIssues for milestone wants a milestone that GitHub knows about. So we're passing in our milestone. We need to give it a milestone that GitHub knows about. So we need to basically create a GitHub milestone from our milestone, and that's where AutoMapper is going to come in. So what we're going to do is we are going to pass in, we're going to have a private iMapper, which is AutoMapper, and that's going to be a mapper. We're going to take that as an input to this thing, and we are going to make the mapper equal to mapper. I'm going to try that again. So if we're following along, what we're going to do here is we're going to say var GitHub milestone is going to be equal to mapper.map, the destination type, which is going to be an octokit.milestone, and we're going to give it the target milestone, which is our one, right? And then this guy is going to be what we pass in here. And that's going to work, right? Then we're going to do mapper.map, a list of issues from this guy. So we're going to rely on the mapper to convert from our milestone to the GitHub milestone, and then from the GitHub issues to our issues, and it's going to be magic, right? So then we're going to do a similar thing here, which is then to return mapper.map. This is a list of release from all releases there. And then this is just a release by itself, so this is going to be mapper.map release from that guy. And then the final one is going to be, it's a little bit overloaded here, but we're going to do mapper.map list of milestone from the milestones that are returned. Okay. Magic. Right? All of it just works. Now, obviously, we haven't defined what those mappings are, or in any way, shape, or form figured out how we're going to do that. But progress is being made. Let's ignore the tests just now and see if we can figure out some of these other ones. These ones I need a mapper. So further up here, let's go ahead and create a new private static iMapper. Call it mapper. That's going to need using AutoMapper. And then somewhere in here, we're going to do something. And that something is going to be var config is equal to new mapper configuration config boom config dot create a map between now we want to go in both directions, so let's handle the model.issue core.model.issue to issue, I think. We probably should do that. Yes. Now, in here, we've then got a release to release. We've got label to label, and then we've got milestone to milestone. Now, we should probably break this out into its own class and have like a set up mapper configuration class, but let's worry about that later. Now, we've gone from our ones to those ones. We need to map in the other direction as well, I think. So if we were to do, I think we need to do that. I might be completely off the reservation, but let's put it in anyway, and then we'll delete it on the other side. Let's put them in. Label. And then this. And now that we've done that, we should be able to do mapper equals config dot create mapper. And then this guy, we're going to pass in when we do this here, and also when we do this here. Where does that get us to? Fewer errors, hopefully. 17. I think it's coming down. This one I don't understand. That one I don't understand. So I'm going to come back to that one. Create milestone. What does this do? Or is this just an AutoKit issue? Because the test should probably be care about it. But let's see what I did there. So let's add in this guy. Because it's no longer we don't actually have a constructor for that thing. This becomes more interesting. So if I do this then, and say version equals version. Is that enough? Why are you complaining? Oh. Version equals new version? There we go. Is that the only thing that we're interested in? Maybes? Or version.parse? Sure. I mean, it has an overload, so let's use that. But now we don't have a user object yet. But maybe we only need that because it was needed for... Why do we have this guy? Like it's needed for there. So I think this simplifies somewhat. So here, issue number equals number, and labels equals labels. That's clearly not going to like it because cannot convert. Well, obviously. Sure. Totally coming back to refactor this at some point. New read-only collection of string passing in labels. Is that what you wanted? The type or namespace? Sure. No. What does this want? Oh, read-only list. Sorry, my bad. Read-only list. I can't type. No, I've got that wrong. What am I trying to do here? Oh, I think I was right the first time. Am I not right in saying that expects a list of label class, not a list of strings? Oh, is it? Did I read that wrong? It does, sorry, my bad. But then that's not going to work because of this. Cannot convert a list of string to a generic list of labels. Let me get rid of all these things because they are going to impact my ability to think about this. Oh, I need a new labels from this. So we need a new... Oh, it's even better. Okay, let's do that. Let's format this a little bit. Let's put this down here, put that here. And I don't know if I'll be able to copy that. Let's do labels.select L. New label where its name is equal to L. Blah blah blah. Dot as read only. We need link for that. Suspect. Nope. Labels.select. Is that not a link thing? Oh, system.link is there. I'm sure I had used. Yeah, so did I. That's why I. As read Oh, it's an array. No? Unlisted T? Oh, hold on. Let's do it as a list first, rather than an IEnumerable. Okay. I feel we're getting somewhere. You think? Maybe you're right. Okay. So let's have a look at these. Oh, where did all those errors go? All those errors went away. Okay. Okay. So let's have a look at the one I don't understand then. So it says that the thing that is target milestone. Oh, is it just because there's not a method? Is that all it is? Oh, look at that. It's just a property, it's not a... Oh, hold on, there was more of them. Hold on. Who are you? Have I not got a mapper here? Definitely need a class that handles the creation of that mapper. But for now, I'm just going to copy and paste it into my setup. And that's terrible. Don't ever do this. Just don't do what I'm away to do. But I'm going to copy this into here. And have I got a setup? Don't. I can say setup here, right? Is it setup? It is. Public. Public something. Public void configure. Using automapper. Private mapper. Mapper. Come back to why that's failing in a second. Let's do this first. Using. Ooh. Let's do that then. There's a one-time setup. Look at that. One-time setup. And then. No. Where was the one I was working on? It was here. And then over here, we want to pass in the mapper. And then this one wants to pass in the mapper. And then this one, what are you complaining about? This is a... Oh, this one doesn't want to be a... That one doesn't want to be an OctaKit release. So let's Let's just break it. And this wants to be one of these, I think. Beautiful. And then this here and here doesn't contain something that has all of that stuff, and it doesn't. So instead, we want to do tag name equals ID. Or is it? No. Tag name is the milestone. The body is equal to string builder dot to string, and then the created at is equal to the created date time. Boom. Okay. A lot of this is me flying by the seat of my pants. Did that build? Let's do a full clean. And let's do a rebuild again. Rebuild succeeded. Ship it. Shall we ship it? No, we shouldn't ship it. We shouldn't ship it. Now check the informational messages. What, you mean there's none here? I was going to ship it, Kim. What are you talking about? I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to let you fix it. Let's see. Uh-oh. I think we might have broke something. I think we might have broken something. Something's passed. Duplicate tests. Let's have a look. Oh, let's maybe put this down in here so we can see what's going on. Argument null. Value cannot be null. Let's stick a breakpoint here. And let's debug this guy. And let's see where it fails. Okay. Okay. So far, so good. Release notes builder has got stuff in it. Build release notes. It's doing stuff. And it failed. So it's something in here then. Let's do it again. Debug. F11 this time. With milestones. Get target milestone. Get issues. Issues is 4. String builder. Previous milestone. I think it could be in there. Something in here, look. Something in here didn't like it. We are narrowing it down. So let's do F9, F5, and let's F11 into this guy. The target milestone version is null. Target milestone. So where's target milestone? Milestone. Find all references. Okay. Sort of confused as to what's going on. Let's have another look. Okay. Target milestone doesn't have a version in it. Okay. So something in my fixture is broken. I think. Or why is this not got anything in it? Find all references. My fake GitHub client isn't setting the version. Let's try this again. F11 into this guy. Hold on. Or is it because my mapper wasn't able to map them? Maybes. So let's have a little step through here. So closed has got 14 things in it. And one of those has... Yeah. Now I've broken something. Now, this, it was a method before. There was a method on the, let's do here, var temp equals, no, how can I test what I want to test? OctoKit.milestone temp equals, no, let's in fact let's just use some of these. What I'm trying to prove to myself is closed 0 then this thing no, that's a system. Oh, it's a method. So it went and got the version number. So that means, I think I know what that means. I just need to remember how to do it. If I go back over here to my model and say that this thing, maybe not mapping it from a method to prop. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about going. So I think, let's go back to here. Closed 0.version. What does it return? Is it an actual version? It is. So I don't need to change that. But what I need to do is I need to go back to my tests. And in here, I have to do something. Now I forget the syntax of this. But if we are going from a milestone to our milestone, then we do a dot is it convert user? Oh no, it's for member. For member. For member. Oh, I did that. I haven't done one of these in a long time. Auto mapper. For member. Then map from. Okay. So let's do for member. Destination dot version opt opt, which I've never really fully understood what the opt is for. Opt dot I had two. Opt dot map from source dot version. Boom. Have I got that round the wrong way? Destination. I think I've got that round the wrong way. Do I want to put this up here? No? Did I have it round the right way? Why are you complaining? From why does that not have version? Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. No. Suddenly had a thought that it's right here, look. We're doing some work on it, look. So I need that in the test. Oh. Version and no accessible extension method. What are you complaining about that? No. Why? You could perhaps then use aftermap. You're going to have to help me with that one, Kim. On here. Aftermap. Copy link to clipboard. Occasionally, you might need to perform custom logic before or after a map occurs. These should be a rarity, as it's more obvious to do this work actually. You can create a global before or after map action. Create map, after map. Copy. So that's on the create map. So here. Destination version is equal to source.version. Is that what you're suggesting? Oh, I thought I checked that. So the milestone extension is in here, GitReleaseManager.core, and I have that here. So I think I have it. So I thought it was there. It's not coming up with anything. Maybe? Yes, it is. It is extending milestone, which is the AutoKit one, yes. What's this doing? No. Look at that. That is an amazing catch. That's an amazing catch. So that leads me to wonder if I was doing this one here right. So in here, we made some changes to be... That's an amazing catch, Kim. Now here, is that still... No, I think that's still valid, what we did there. Amazing. Amazing. So, if we go back to where things were breaking, which was, I forget, but let's go back to our Test Explorer and run this guy again. We'll check to see if things are null. Did I have another breakpoint? I did. Okay, so now milestones is still 18, but one of these, it now has a version. Right. So now if we run through this, previous milestone has a version. Let's just let it run. Oh. Okay. Let's rerun all of these tests again. We're half and half. 14 passed, 14 failed. Dun, dun, dun. So close. What's this one failing on? Correctly exclude issues. Could not find milestone for 1, 2, 3. Are these all going to be? Could not find milestone for 1, 2, 3. Oh, I bet it's now the other way. It's now the mapping the other way. I suspect. So let's go and have a look at this one. Oh, that's maybe that. Correctly exclude versions. Okay. I need to try and remember how these tests work. I'll be honest. F11. Create an issue. Boom. Good. F11. Create an issue. Boom. Accept test. Accept test. What's this doing? Fake milestone, milestones.add. Create milestone. Do you want to continue? Yes. Create milestone with version 1, 2, 3. Create a new milestone. So milestone. Milestones. Oh, come on. Milestones here. Version 1, 2, 3. So it's in there. So then it's going to create some issues in the fake client and then build release notes. Get target milestone. Target milestone is going to be null, isn't it? What was it looking for? Milestones. Oh, the title. Oh, we need to make the title of the milestone equal to, because this thing here, come on, give me the jobber. Its title is null. So if we were to look back at where we created those things, I suspect we would have found that we were using the version in two places. So where do we do that? We go back here and say new milestone, which was in here. Then we're also going to say title equals version. And I suspect if we go back to where we had that big long creation of the OctoKit milestone, we would have used the version in two places. And let's see what happens. Come on. Oh. Oh, we're getting so close. It's getting so close. The HTML URL isn't the same. Without saving. It's going to be the same for all of these, isn't it? Yep. Quit without saving. Quit without saving. Oh, this is good. There's going to be lots of these. Quit without saving. Fine. So this thing popping up here, by the way, is the approval tests add-in. So basically, the unit test, the way that these unit tests run is they're doing a text comparison between a file on the file system that is the expected version, like the expected output, and then it's then doing a comparison between what's actually generated. And then, because there was a failure, it's then showing me the diff between the two, which is entirely useful. It's just that in this scenario, there's a lot of failures, so it's doing it for each time. But if we go back and have a look at the release notes builder test, which is here, and why is that changed? What was received? So we need to get rid of that, but that's fine. Down here, then I think what we're missing is this. So where we set the we want the HTML URL to be this. So in here, we've got the HTML URL, come on, is equal to this guy. And then for my new issue, which was here, it's something or other wants to be this. Copy. And then there's something else in here. I wonder what that was. So if I go in here and say, what else is there? HTML URL is going to be that. And then I suspect that this is going to be the title. Is equal to that. Let's see what that does. If that works, I'm going to need to change this to be the same consistent format, because it's currently not. And needs to be. There. Oh, look at that. Sorry, I just realised when my test passed. I wasn't watching. Let's run them again. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. Now, some of this is still coupled to how GitHub does it, and we need to see whether there is an equivalent. Now, why did that just all pass and now all fail again? Run it again? I think we're so close. Why is this failing? Oh. No. Why is it? That shouldn't be making any calls to... Or should it? I didn't think that made any calls to... But I guess it does. Yeah, but I thought there was a... I thought the whole point was that there was a fake GitHub client that's being used. Where is new fake? So it's being used for the release notes builder test. I mean, well, technically that's now, we're on the verge of it being a integration test rather than a unit test. So it's being done there, and it's being done there. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Oh no, that is an integration test. Hold on then. So that's fine then. Sorry, that is an integration test. So the question then becomes, let's not do the integration tests. But I thought they were in two separate. Oh no, it is a class. Look. Oh. I have to break that out into its own class then. I don't necessarily want to run those just now. I normally have two DLLs, one that is tests and one that is integration tests. I don't know why I haven't done that here, but let's not necessarily worry about that just now, because the test I saw the test passing at one point. So I'm going to delete this guy because that they have went away. Okay, good. Okay. So where do we get to? We are still very closely coupled to GitHub, but we're getting closer to being disconnected. So if we look at the CLI now and look at program, now I think we can take this away as well now, by the way, because we are, the note here is once we've upgraded the latest Octobox, I think we can remove the security protocol because the OctoKit client is now doing it for us. But that'll be a separate test. So we are still very closely coupled to GitHub, because here we are, for each of these entry level tasks, we're still creating a specific GitHub client. So we need to step away from that, and instead of passing GitHub into the create release notes from milestone, we need to pass in something. And that something is going to do the work of getting milestones, getting issues for that specific provider, right? So we're close, but we're still not quite there. But what I'm going to do before we do that is I'm going to stage all of this so that I don't lose any of it. And this is for GH 145. Refactoring project away from GitHub. Updated building and exporting of release notes to use generic model classes rather than OptoKit specific ones. Updated tests to the same. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Go ahead and commit that so that we're kind of at a known state. So now we need to break a bunch of stuff. And this thing here is where we need to start the break. So if I go into here, then this direct coupling to this GitHub client is where things are gonna hurt. So let me have a quick look at something and say, okay. So I'm just looking at some of the refactoring work that I did previously, and I'm maybe going to borrow some code because there's quite a bit to it. So where do we want to put this? I think this might want to go in core. And in here, I'm going to create a new class called iSource IBCS provider. Naming is hard. Is this going to paste? Oh, it did, but it's got a bunch of... It's unfortunate. Okay, let's work with it. So what this is going to attempt to do is this is going to attempt to abstract away all of the methods that are required in the release notes builder, in the release notes exporter, to use an interface. And then we'll be able to provide a specific implementation of this interface for GitHub and for GitLab and for some other provider, right? So if we do that, then what we can do is go to, it's not there. Then we can go to this. So what I'm showing here is kind of the work that I did. I mentioned this before, but this is where I was doing a bunch of work when I was at the MVP Summit at the start of the year. So, because this create client is where you would put the specific implementation for the GitHub client. Now, what does that return? Oh no, actually, because that's a method on the thing that we pass out. So if we come in here and we say, rather than, let's do a research here, create GitHub client. So rather than do that, we are going to say, that's clearly not going to work, is it? Where's the nothing? What are they trying to do here? I create an implementation, yes. I did create one here. But it doesn't have a constructor. So how was I doing that? Let's keep going. So let's go up here and say private static I VCS provider. I'm going to put this in the wrong namespace. Oh, I've also not called it the right thing because I copied and pasted that. I VCS provider. I VCS provider. VCS provider. Right. So what I wanted to then do was go here and say VCS provider.create client somewhere. Sub options dot username sub options dot password sub options dot token. That then goes away. That then breaks because we don't have it. But then we're going to pass into here VCS provider. And we're going to pass into here VCS provider. And then that's going to start a chain of stuff. Because that's then going to have VCS provider. Then that is going to have some stuff in it. What was I doing there? This is where I actually want the client. Why have I not made the client part of the provider? That's a very good question. What's in the Oh, because that then comes away in favor of the way I've done it before, is that this is now in here. So I actually delete all of this stuff. So literally all of it goes away. According to what I've got over here anyway, all of this goes away. But some of that will now need some additional work because of the work that Arthur did. So this VCS provider had add SHA-256s and things. So there was this work here that may need to move into there. Okay, I'm going to need to mull this one over a little bit and see what I did and why. Because there is an entire GitHub provider class that does. Let's maybe bring this over while we're here. Copy. So let's add a new class. Add class. And this is going to be the GitHub provider. And that in its entirety is going to be like. Try that again. Copy. Oh, why is it not pasting? Copy, copy, copy. Go eventually. Let's get rid of these. Must be a quicker way of doing this. Getting there. I should have searched in the place really. So I'll flow there a little bit. There. What does it do? So this is going to be in .core. That is going to be a VCS provider. In my original implementation, I had believed that all of the instances were going to be interfaces. But then I changed my mind because they actually needed to be implementations of the things. What are you complaining about? Does not implement get milestones. What are you complaining about? Oh, I see. Because that hasn't yet been changed to have a VCS provider. Provider. VCS provider. Oops, I think in here, because VCS provider then doesn't expose a client yet. So how did that one work? Do I even have a solution for it? Exporter. Oh no, because it just then is that. That's not the. Why is that complaining? Inaccessible. Do not ever get pieces. So according to this, I'm just going to do a return. Oh wait. ECS provider dot export. No, that's not gonna work. Export releases. So it's just not going to work, is it? Yeah, I'm going to need to go and play with this and try and remember what on earth I was doing with this code, because some of it just isn't going to work. I think it's, part of me thinks it's almost there, but provider export these notes. So where does export pieces? It's not there. Okay. I am gonna call it a night, I think. I don't know if you're still around, Kim, but if you are, it would be good to have a sanity check on what is in that draft PR that's not a draft PR just now. And then I will continue to work on this, because I think I'm close. One of the things that I do need to do though is we go back up here to look at the options. Then all of these take a base GitHub sub-options. So that naming convention is wrong, if nothing else. And also it's got a specific GitHub client on the option. So that's not going to fly. What was I doing this one? It was renamed, and the create GitHub client was removed. So there's a few things that need to be changed here as well. Maybe I'll start there and work backwards from there. But okay, I think that's it for just now. So thank you everyone for coming along. I appreciate you spending the evening with me. And I will come back to this. Oh, I won't be here on Friday. I've got somewhere to be on Friday lunchtime, so won't be continue with that then. But I hope to get to some of this during the week this week. Because, like I say, I would like to get to a point where it's all working with GitHub with this refactoring, and then we should be able to slot in GitLab. Now, the GitLab provider that I am thinking about using, that's unfortunate. I was hoping to show you what I was intending on using, but my notification client seems to have gone away. Or has it come back here? It has come back here. I can find it. Let's go to here. And try and remember the guy's name who owns the repository. I think it starts with an M. But I will find it as soon as Octobox comes back with my archived notifications. Oh, it went away. So I can just find it over here then. I'm going to search for a GitLab provider on GitHub, because I'm almost convinced that that's the one there. Let me go back to search. Fairly sure it's this one. It is. And let me just verify that by looking for me as the author of an issue. Yes. Because when I first started looking at this GitLab API client, it didn't have support for the concept of creating a release, editing a release, adding assets to a release, that sort of thing. But now it does, because someone added that support. So this is the client that I am intending on using. And for the most part, it is a slot-in replacement for GitHub, right? So we should, in theory, be able to do all of the things on GitLab that we can do here on GitHub. So that's my plan, right? So once we've gone through this iteration, we'll have an ability to do that. But for now, that's me done. So I will say good night, and I will talk to you all later. Thank you very much.